So it's been almost 50 years that we started the partnership and collaboration with the government of Indonesia.
My early career in this ministry, I'm familiar with it. And to the best of my knowledge, at least there are three projects that we are undergoing right now.
And Pak Zaki and I also had a discussion like how we can strengthen this vessel monitoring system in Indonesia. And there are some global good practices that FAO has carried out. So I think these are the things that, the challenges on one hand, but also the solutions on the other hand.
And then we want to bring this blue economy approach to get more attention, to get support from global leaders. And how to bring this is through blue diplomacy.
Can blue economy become solution for the challenges faced by marine and fishery sector nowadays, Pak? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hai sahabat Bari, selamat datang di podcast Segara, Samudra Informasi Kelautan dan Perikanan. Episode kali ini spesial nih, kita kedatangan tamu dari FAO, organisasi internasional yang juga merupakan mitra strategis Kementerian Kelautan Perikanan. Sudah hadir di sini Mr. Rajendra Aryal, FAO Representative for Indonesia and Timor Leste. How are you, Mr. Rajendra?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming here today, sir. Dan nggak kalah spesial, kita juga ditemani oleh Kepala Biro Hubungan Masyarakat dan Kerjasama Luar Negeri, Bapak Zaki Mubarok. Apa kabar Pak Zaki?
Terima kasih.
Selamat datang di podcast Segara, Pak.
Kabar baik. Terima kasih, Mbak Yesi.
Siap. Nah, sahabat Bari, hari ini kita akan ngobrolin nih gimana sih kolaborasi dan sinergi antara KKP dan FAO dalam membangun sektor kelautan perikanan Indonesia supaya lebih berkelanjutan dan berdampak nih. First, I would like to ask Mr. Rajendra, so how has the long-standing partnership between KKP and FAO been running?
Thank you very much. Hi, Sahabat Bahari. Thank you for inviting me here. This is a very good question actually, because this year FAO is celebrating its 80th anniversary. And Indonesia became member of FAO in 1948, and we started the full-fledged representation here in 1978. So it's been almost 50 years that we started the partnership and collaboration with the government of Indonesia. And I would like to sincerely thank the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, KKP, for this fruitful collaboration in realizing Indonesia's sustainable fisheries. KKP has been always excellent to receive the technical assistance that FAO generated all the time, informing the policy, building the capacity, strengthening the institution, fostering across the country, and also bringing the good practices of Indonesia to the region as well as to the world. And FAO and KKP, we have recently completed two very important projects. One project was IFISH, we call, and another was ISLME, Indonesian Seas Large Marine Ecosystem, which was mainly focusing on producing, sustainable fisheries, but also introducing zero waste approach, building the capacity of the local institution, and mainly working with the women. And this was a collaboration also with Timor-Leste, especially that ISLME project. And this has really enabled us to come up with very good milestones. Last week I was in Jambi. We are working with KKP on one app called Sice Katan, which is actually helping the small-scale fishers to detect the fish diseases. So these are just few examples, So we have this long-term partnership with KKP. Once again, I would like to sincerely thank KKP for this excellent partnership. And the beauty of this ministry, I would say KKP, is that people are always willing to listen and willing to learn. And I take it as a big strength.
Okay. So, Pak Zaki, how does KKP see FAO as a strategic partner, and how important is this collaboration for the development of marine and fishery sector in Indonesia, Pak?
All right, thank you, Mbak Yesi, Pak Rajendra. I think it is indeed a very good opportunity for me personally, and also for FAO. I believe as institutions for all of us, for both of us to have closer relationships, in which in the past and also in the future, KKP, or Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, always perceives FAO as important or strategic partner. We have a lot of collaboration, such as technical assistance and also capacity building. And also we our ministry sent delegations to the FAO meetings, Pak. To the best of my knowledge, such as coffee. And also we were host of very important meeting, PSMA, Port State Measures Agreement, in which one of the best results was Bali's strategy to combat IUU fishing. I think that is the milestone that we should perceive as part of important collaboration between two institutions. The alignment with FAO is significant contributing factors towards the successful implementation of our main program of blue economy. And we have also within the national context, we have also priority for food security, economy, ocean health, for prosperity under the enduring heritage mark of the blue economy vision. So I think it is very important for both institutions to work together to endorse, to encourage blue economy program to have to move forward at the decades to come. Thank you.
Oke, nah Sahabat Bahari, jangan kemana-mana ya. Habis ini kita akan kulik lebih dalam terkait ekonomi biru yang tadi sudah disampaikan oleh Pak Zaki. Tetap di podcast Segara.
Ragamkan perspektif Anda dengan berbagai program kami di KKP Channel.
Selamat berjumpa kembali dalam program KKP News.
Jadi Kevin 77 tahun baru.
Halo Sahabat Bahari, apa kabarnya?
Informatif, interaktif, edukatif.
Welcome back Sahabat Bahari. Langsung aja kita lanjutin obrolan kita hari ini dengan Mr. Rajendra dan juga Pak Zaki. So, Mr. Rajendra, talking about marine and fisheries sector globally, what are the challenges faced by marine and fisheries sector nowadays? And are there any specific program that FAO is focusing on to address on these challenges?
Well, this is a very timely question, actually. You know, the way we are working, the current system works, what we call these days is triple planetary crisis. It's a crisis of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. And that is at global level. And we really need to seriously start thinking about the health of our marine ecosystem. And this sector remains heavily reliant on fossil fuel, you know. And overfishing is another risk that we are facing. And that is threatening also the habitats of small scale producers who are dependent on the sector. So these are also the people, they have very limited access to investment and infrastructure. And so they are also bearing the brunt of climate change, from changing, in the whole fish value chain, fish distribution, facing the impacts of extreme climate change, rising sea level. So there is also this issue of inequality. So meaning now, if there is a problem, there is also a solution. Now what FAO is doing is actually FAO is promoting the sustainable fisheries and aquaculture globally. So some of these areas are like what we call Blue Transformation Initiative, which is launched to transform the aquatic system for better productivity, sustainability, and equity. Port State Measures Agreement, as Pajaki just recently mentioned, this Port State Measures Agreement, which is legally binding international treaty to prevent, deter, and eliminate IUU fishing. And the Bali Declaration has been a milestone in this effort. Then the ecosystem approach to fisheries management, we call it EAFM. Indonesia is really much ahead of the curve. This approach actually promotes holistic management that considers the interactions between species, habitats, and human activities. Then development of the small-scale fisheries guidelines. Then the FAO Code of Conduct for Responsible Fisheries. Then another important activity that FAO is doing at the global level is maintaining the global record of fishing vessels refrigerated transport vessels and supply vessels. And Pajaki and I also had a discussion like how we can strengthen this vessel monitoring system in Indonesia. And there are some global good practices that FAO has carried out. So I think these are the things that, the challenges on one hand, but also the solutions on the other hand.
Okay. So, Pak Zaki, I would like to ask you, since Minister Sakti Wahyu Trenggono took the lead in 2021, he has determined to implement blue economy principles, and he believes that there should be a balance between ecology and also economy. And when he was reappointed for the second period to lead KKP, he's eager to accelerate the implementation of blue economy. And now KKP is even developing blue diplomacy concept. Could you tell us more about the blue diplomacy concept?
All right. As touched upon by Pak Rajendra with regard to the blue transformation system, PSMA, directly or indirectly, it is about blue economy.
Yep.
And then we very much pay attention on those issues. 5 programs of our minister, very much important to not only to Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries also, but to the global level. And also we have problem with climate change. We have problem with sea level rise. We have a problem with our marine plastic, you name it. And then the next agenda, the future agenda of the global leaders, I believe there should be pay more attention how to address the environmental issues, particularly on marine aspects. And then that is the trend that is the future trend. In that sense, we have to prepare. What should we do to cope those problems? And then our minister has introduced the blue economy concept. And the vision of foreign policy, the vision of international cooperation is the generation or the projection of our domestic policy. In this sense, is our ministry or our minister policy of the economy. And then we have blue economy, five main programs of blue economy, and then we want to bring this blue economy approach to get endorsement, to get more attention, to get support from global leaders. And how to bring this is through blue diplomacy. So that is the main concept that we would like to endorse from the aspect of international cooperation. And in this sense, we do need the collaboration with international organizations, among others, such as food and agriculture organizations, in which Pak Rajendra is right now sitting here. Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to hear from Mr. Rajendra. So, what's your view on blue economy principles promoted by KKP and the blue diplomacy concept that's just been explained by Pak Karo? Can blue economy become solution for the challenges faced by marine and fishery sector nowadays, Pak?
See, as Pak Zaki said, Indonesia matters at the global level. Whatever Indonesia does, it's not only for Indonesia. It's also for the region. It's also for the globe. We have to take it from there. So first of all, again, I highly commend KKP for the leadership in promoting this blue economy principle. Actually, this approach is very much aligned with FAO's blue transformation agenda. And at the heart of the both blue economy principles or blue transformation agenda is how to balance the food security and economic activities with ecosystem restoration and conservation in aquatic food system. In FAO, we say 4 betters: better production, better nutrition, but also better new environment to ensure better life. So blue economy has huge potential in Indonesia to transform and diversify the food systems and economy and sustaining the livelihoods of many people. And our collaboration here, KKP and FAO, this collaboration provides an excellent avenue to accelerate the blue economy through the implementation of our programs at the grassroots level with the local community to see how that works, what doesn't, but also then bringing it to the upstream at the place where planning and policy is made, right? So we just need to strengthen these linkages between the two levels. And blue diplomacy, as Pajaki rightly said, it's a way, it's an approach to really translate or accelerate the country's blue transformation. And it resonates with FAO's commitment to international cooperation and science-based policy dialogue, I would say. So we very much heartily welcome this approach, and we look forward to support the operationalization.
Thank you very much. Nah, seru banget ya sahabat Bahari. Kita jadi tahu nih kalau ekonomi biru itu bisa menjadi solusi untuk menghadapi tantangan di sektor kelautan perikanan sekarang. Nah, setelah ini kita akan bahas terkait proyek apa aja sih yang sudah berjalan antara KKP dan juga FAO. Stay tune di podcast Segara.
Mulai 2025 ini ada yang baru dari KKP Channel. Selamat berjumpa kembali dalam program KKP News, yaitu KKP News Sepekan.
Kita semua tahu ya, kalau menjaga laut itu nggak cukup niat aja, tapi perlu aksi dan juga program nyata. Dan lebih bagus lagi kalau ada kolaborasi di dalamnya. So, Mr. Rajendra, as Pazaki mentioned before, that blue diplomacy concept should be endorsed and need support from higher level, including FAO. So, what do you think about this?
As I mentioned earlier, responding to Pajaki, this agenda of blue economy fits very well with this. It aligns very well with the blue transformation agenda's FAO, and the approach of blue diplomacy is a way to put it forward. And I think, as I mentioned, I think there is opportunities to take it at a higher level, at regional level as well as at global level. For instance, let's say COFI could be one platform. Or any other platform, at global level. Or in FAO, we also have this Asia Pacific regional conferences every 2 years. Next year, it's in 2026, which is happening in Cambodia. I think that is also an opportunity where Indonesia probably could take it forward, as well as at the global level. So I think we need to discuss it, like how we operationalize it further.
Pazaki, is there any ongoing technical projects running under FAO and KKP collaboration?
Since my early career in this ministry, I'm familiar with FAO, along with the projects and programs. And to the best of my knowledge, at least there are 3 projects that we are undergoing right now. First is a technical assistance in developing a national strategy for sustainable management of aquatic genetic resources, in which it is very important with regard to the genetic resources. From 2023 to 2024, the objective of this program is to support Indonesia in preparing an initial assessment to report and evaluate the country's capacity in managing aquatic genetic resources. Again, this is very important. This is the future issue. On marine genetic resources, on aquatic genetic resources. Second project is enhancing preparedness and response system on aquatic animal disease to support blue economy transformation. Well, blue initiative, blue transformation initiative was explained perfectly by Pak Rajendra previously. And then I think this is part of that agenda. The duration is only 1 year, but I think the impact will be huge. There are 3 main objectives, in which one of them is to minimize disease risk through improved risk assessment capacity. The third project is sustainable management of fisheries, marine living resources and their habitats in the Bay of Bengal region, for the benefit of coastal states and communities. The project duration is longer than the 2 previous projects, but this project period or duration is 5 years. And the objective of this project is for the sustainable management of marine and fisheries resources in the Bay and Bengal large marine ecosystem, including strengthening government capacity in managing these marine and fisheries resources. And there is particular or designated or Director General to implement this project, that is Director General of Capture Fisheries.
So there are 3 ongoing technical projects managed by FAO and also KKP.
Yes.
So Mr. Rajendra, what are the goals or the expected outcomes from these 3 projects?
Well, the first project, as Jackie mentioned, about the surveillance of the fish diseases. It's actually enhancing the fish disease preparedness and response to support the blue economy transformation. And this is sort of like a digitalized fisheries, you could say. This is a digitalization of fisheries early warning system into an Android-based Sicekatan app. And this project involved the training of farmers, especially small farmers, the fisheries extension officer, the laboratory workers, and emergency response task force that have seen this improved capacity on different diseases, including, the antimicrobial resistance, which is an emerging disease. We call it silent pandemic. And then the Posikandu officer also trained on outbreak investigations, monitoring and reporting of fish disease, and then prevention and reduction of production and income losses. I mean that to reduce that. Then the project is also supporting this technical assistance in developing a national strategy for sustainable management of aquatic genetic resources. That was the project also that Jackie mentioned. This is basically looking at improving Indonesia's policy environment and strengthening the partnership in fisheries and forestry, plus for food security and nutrition. It's building the capacity, mainly capacity building, planning, and coordination. Then the third activities, the third project, it's called Bob LME. It's the sustainable management of fisheries and marine living resources and their habitats in the Bay of Bengal. Which is actually, this project is shared by 8 countries, and in Indonesia it is around Sumatran waters. And we hope that this will also enable to strengthen the government's capacity in sustainable management with participatory and inclusive approaches. And some of the major elements of this Bob LME project is like ecosystem approach to sustainable fisheries management, reducing IUU fishing, that is illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, reducing waste, developing resilience plans, and including the coastal fisheries and aquaculture into poverty reduction and development, as well as climate change policies, strategies, and planning process, and mainstreaming gender, which is important, because women are always at the center, at the heart of these type of development projects. So basically these projects. But having said that, we have few pipeline projects. Actually, we are discussing with Jackie in both coastal fisheries, marine fisheries, as well as the inland aquaculture, because Indonesia has the huge potential, which is still to be developed by. I mean, a lot of things are being done, but there are a lot of potentials. So we hope that we'll have further opportunities to expand the program together.
Nah, luar biasa sekali sahabat Bahari. Jangan kemana-mana ya, setelah ini kita akan bahas lebih lanjut terkait kerjasama antara FAO dan KKP. Stay tune di podcast Segara.
KKP Channel hadir untuk Anda. Informatif, edukatif, interaktif.
Nah sahabat Bahari, tadi kita udah dengar terkait ongoing projects antara KKP dan juga FAO. Nah sekarang kita mau bahas nih tentang success story dari project yang sudah berjalan. Dan juga mau ngapain lagi sih KKP dan FAO ke depannya. So Mr. Rajendra, I learned that there is a local food hero born from the previous collaborative project between FAO and also KKP ya Pak. And he compete in the global level in Rome and even managed to win the competition. Could you tell us more about that?
That competition, I don't know, but this is a story of someone from West Papua. His name is Justus Menarbo. Since 2017, Justus and his community, they have been implementing SASHI, which is a traditional fisheries co-management system in Indonesia. And they have set out rules mutually agreed upon by indigenous people, the religious leaders, and the government for managing natural resources in the area. And they also urge the fishers to use environmental friendly gears that only catches the target species. And then only when they have reached a level of maturity. And as part of this SASI, Justus and his fellow fishermen monitor fish stocks around the village. But there are many people like Justus in Indonesia. We just need to amplify their stories to inspire the change. We need to learn from the Masyarakat Adat, because I have seen that also in other parts of Indonesia, such as Kapuas or Barito Selatan or Kampar, where the traditional beliefs, the practices, the norms exist. We just need to build on that. Another example I can give is from Ibu Turini. She's a leader of a women group called Poklasar, Minasari Kaliwungu in Cilacap. And she has been transformed from being a sort of like a homemaker, a housewife, to a real entrepreneur running a cooperative. And she has even empowered other women to take part in boosting the local economy and ensuring food security. And they have embraced the idea of food diversification. They have also adopted something called zero waste or circular economy. And, beyond the business, Ibu Turini has also been very active in the social sector. She has led a social campaign to reduce stunting by encouraging fish consumption. And her activities are also connected to this Makan Bergizi Gratis. And her efforts have reached 5 children health centers in Kaliwungu village in Cilacap, directly supporting 344 children. And this success of this initiative has inspired also other villagers and other women to really follow her footsteps. So Ibu Turini was recently in Jakarta, and I had a chance. And her level of confidence, Jackie, has gone so up. She was even trying to speak English with me. So you could see the transformation. So our idea actually to bring her to the global front, because there are some competition of food heroes, as you rightly say, Ibu, yes. So let's hope that we can project or we can bring her story to the global front, because we had an example of a similar lady. Her name is Ibu Nisa Wargadipura from Garut, who won this global food hero competition in Rome last year in October 2024. So I hope we can also have other food heroes following the footsteps of Ibu Nisa Wargadipura, and we want to also project someone like Ibu Turini to the global level.
So the projects from FAO and KKP have really changed people's life, ya Pak ya?
Absolutely. It has changed not only her life, but that change, that transformation has also inspired other women. And the ripple effect of this project activity is that there are a lot of other communities who are following on their own. They are getting support from KKP, from private sector, and they are doing on their own. Wow. So she has become a real inspiration, I would say.
Wah, udah ada contoh suksesnya tuh sahabat Bari. Nah, sekarang saya mau tanya ke Pak Zaki nih, Pak. Is there any plan for future collaboration between KKP and also FAO, Pak?
Since we have done a lot of programs between two sides, we have agreed to have more collaboration in the years to come. First of all, we have what we call as the Enabling Activities and Ratification Support Project for the Agreement of Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction, or BBNJ agreement, which it has the objective to support Indonesia in its efforts related to the conservation and sustainable use of marine biological diversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction. It means areas beyond 200 nautical miles. The second project is the strengthening governance and community-based management of inland fisheries to support optimum use of biodiversity and building resilience of the economic systems, or IBES project, in which it focuses on enhancing the governance and community involvement in the management of inland fisheries to promote biodiversity conservation and economic resilience. And then for the third project, with regard to the mariculture value chain project, which it is likely the objective of the project is to develop and strengthen the entire value chain of mariculture activities in Indonesia, and it promotes sustainable economic benefits. In addition to these proposals from KKP, FAO, Pak Rajendra, your organization has also put forward a suggestion for a phase 2 of the ISLMA, or Indonesia Seas Large Marine Ecosystem Project, which it indicates a continued commitment to address the sustainable management of Indonesia's significant marine ecosystems. I think those 3 projects are very important for us, and also it doesn't close the door for the upcoming or projects in the future to come.
And last question for Mr. Rajendra nih, Pak. What are your hopes for the global marine and fisheries sector in the future, and how the partnership between FAO and also KKP could build better future for the next generation to come?
FAO and Indonesia, we are very much willing to work together. As Pak Zaki mentioned, there could be other opportunities as well beyond these 3 projects. There was this report of FAO 2024 that's called State of World Fisheries and Aquaculture Reports that highlights a record high in global aquatic production, and it also forecasts 10% increase in aquatic animal production by 2032. So there's a growing demand for aquatic foods. That is presenting already an opportunity and responsibility. So, but at the same time, we need to understand that this is not only production or increasing supply. We need to also manage the environment. We need to manage the ecosystem to meet the SDG 14, the Sustainable Development Goal. Then other opportunity for collaboration is enhancing blue transformation, as we said, the blue economy, the blue diplomacy, how we can, work together to scale up the sustainable aquaculture, effective fisheries management within the scope of this blue economy. How can we reduce food loss and waste across the fish value chain? How can we ensure the inclusion of small-scale fishers and the masyarakat adat? Let's also remember that 90% of these people are all small-scale who go to the water. And over 500 million people depend on small-scale fisheries, actually, which account for 40% of the global catch and 90% of the capture fisheries workforce. I'm talking about the global level. So supporting them is really needed. It's not optional. We have to support them. And Indonesia being a country where a very huge population is still dependent on farming and fishing, I think there's a very good opportunity to collaborate further.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajendra. Nah, sahabat Bahari, tadi kita udah dengerin langsung dari Mr. Rajendra dan juga Pak Zaki tentang kolaborasi antara KKP dan juga FAO dalam membangun sektor kelautan perikanan yang lebih tangguh dan berkelanjutan. Terima kasih banyak Pak Rajendra sudah hadir pada podcast hari ini, dan juga Pak Zaki, terima kasih banyak.
Thank you.
Sahabat Bahari, simak terus podcast Segara di YouTube channel KKP dan juga update terus informasi terkait sektor kelautan perikanan di KKP Go ID. Saya Yesinia pamit undur diri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.